We have already get the gene matrix, and then next step, we based on this paper's method, TOM measure distance to try to get which genes we can put them together to consist a hub gene. So in this paper, we can see that if we only use the identical gene to clarify cancer, maybe there have some noise, we cannot get the correct answer. So we use the multi node. Here node is the gene, so we use the multi gene and then put them together to construct a hub gene, and then use this hub gene to clarify and identify cancer type. So we call this method is a topology overlap measure method, and use this method we just if the two genes have a weak collection, and then it may be a noisy neighborhood, and then we just consider there have a high similarity measures, and then we use this gene to as a neighborhood node. How to calculate this? Similarity measure? We used this formula, and here means there have two gene I and G, and except for G, and how many U connect with I, and then we calculate to get the this we calculate to get this T topology value, and then you can see in this code, we based on this formula, we first to get our gene matrix, and then we use the Pearson correlation coefficient to get each other to get relations of two genes, and based on this agency matrix, we next to calculate Tom distance. Here Tom distance we set a threshold. If two nodes there's agency correlation coefficient larger or equal to threshold, and we set neighbor I, we set its neighbor as node as neighbors. Otherwise, it's not node as neighbors, and then the value is still equal to default value 0. And to G is the same thing. Then we based on S neighbors and node S neighbors and G and node G's neighbors, we get how many U in I and G. Then we use we based the formulator, get the nominator and denominator. You can see that here is the nominator. That means topology measure how many I and U in between I and U, how many U node between them, and this means that here is length, and then we add the agency correlation value. Then this is our nominator, and the denominator we just get neighbor I, G, neighbor G. We get the minimum one, and then plus one. Here is and then we get T node between node I and G's t value, and based t value we can get Tom distance. Then this is our get Tom distance.